And hello, everyone. Welcome to Power Scanning. It is September 13th, 2025, 12 p.m. Eastern Time. I had to think there for a second. It's my second webinar in a row. And once again, today we are going to be on the lookout for the most interesting swing trading setups for the week and the weeks ahead. But before we get into it, let me ask you guys, where are you calling in from? I myself am calling in from Montreal. It's a beautiful fall day today. Fall has started. It's crisp outside. The sky is blue as far as I can tell. It seems actually quite nice out there. So yeah, here in Canada, in Montreal, which is our headquarters of trading indicators, by the way. Who else do we have? All right, we have Lenny from New York City. Hey, Lenny, how's it going? He said the weather is beautiful, balanced, and pleasant. Great. Yeah, it's kind of beautiful and balanced for today here as well. I was actually biking this morning to our office. We have Niels from Basel. Hey, Niels, wie geht's? Arthur from Hamburg. Hi, Arthur. Moin, moin. Tien from Garden Grove, California. Hey, Tien, it's nice to see you. Nice to have you. Gerhard from Frankfurt. Hey, Gerhard, wie geht's? Frank from Den Haag. Nice to have you, Frank. Andrea from the Provence, normally from Hamburg, but today from France. Is that or just the countryside? Daryl from San Francisco. Hey, Daryl, how's it going? Aubrey from sunny Cyprus. Joining a bit late. No worries, Aubrey. We haven't started yet. Tom from Roseville, California. Hey, Tom, how's it going? Who else do we have? Oh, Andrea says she actually is greeting from France. Awesome. Great. All right. And we have Gerald from Santa Fe. Hey, Gerald, how are you today? I bet you it's still nice and warm down there in Santa Fe in New Mexico. Oh, and we also, of course, we also have Homer on board with us today, greeting us from Beaconsfield, which is in the suburbs of Montreal. And Devendra from Princeton, New Jersey. Hey, Devendra, how's it going? Perfect. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for sharing your location, and let's get into it. So, as a reminder, what we're going to be doing today is to look for swing trades. So, swing trades, give or take, will last anywhere between 2 and 20 weeks, sometimes even a bit less than this. So, it's not a day trade, which you would typically open within the same day and close it within the same day. It's not a long-term investment, which you may hold for many, many years or maybe even for a life. A swing trade is right in the middle of these two extremes. And the beautiful thing is that these swing trades typically respond very well to what we call technical setups, something that you actually can find on your price chart, something that you can systematically scan for and which are actually very fast to find if you have the right tools. And this is why we also called what we will be doing today, our 13 minutes Sunday strategy. As I always say, it's a bit of a misnomer because it's, the scanning process we actually recommend to do every single day after the market closes, not just on Sunday. And of course, today is not even Sunday. So in any case, the idea is that you can do this entire scanning process in just a few minutes if you are using our Liquidity View dashboard. And how this works and which trades we will find today, which look interesting for the next week. That's what we're going to do today. Just a quick reminder, we are tradingindicators.com. My name is Daniel here on the left-hand side. And about 10 years ago, Homer and I, Homer's in the middle here, and Homer's also in the chat today, we have created trading indicators. And it's been quite a ride since then. We have built thousands of actual trading indicators, but we've also spread out to other things. So we've created fully automated strategies. We've created trading tools and also trading scanners. And one such trading scanner we will be using today, which is our Liquidity View dashboard. And as mentioned in the beginning, this is a tool which allows you to find, as you may say, the needle in a haystack, a stock out of thousands of stock which looks most interesting right now. This is something which cannot be done manually because it's way too tedious. It takes way too long time. You need a tool for that. And one such tool is our Liquidity View dashboard. It's a tool designed to simplify your trading, to save your time, and not the opposite, to occupy you too much. So something that can be done very quickly. Also, a quick reminder, of course, that if you have any questions, please don't be shy. Put your questions into the Q&A box and Homer will bring those to my attention as we go through this presentation. All right. I also need to remind you that trading does contain risk and therefore is not suited for every investor. If you trade, make sure to only use risk capital, which is money that you actually can afford to lose. When it comes to backtest performance or hypothetical performance, keep in mind that this is not necessarily indicative of future performance, and any trade ideas and strategies and setups discussed in this webinar should not be construed as trade advice. These are for educational purposes only. Okay, so before we get into the markets, a couple of housekeeping items. First off, please check out our bootcamp, and Homa, please put this link into the chat box at tradingindicators.com/bootcamp. Why am I saying this? Because in this session today, we will only use a handful of features of the dashboard. There are so many more features in there. If you want to learn what these features are and how they can help you in your trading, check out the bootcamp, which is very comprehensive. It's about 2 hours long where we cover every single feature. Also, we do have a Discord page, and we encourage you to check it out at tradingindicators.com/Discord. What we will be doing there more and more is to post interesting setups and to comment on setups as we proceed through the trading week. So check it out at tradingindicators.com/Discord. It's completely free. Also, what we will be doing today is to interactively scan for setups using our Liquidity View dashboard. If you don't have access to the dashboard yet, we recommend to get access right now. In fact, because you can do it you can do it for free for 1 week. So simply go to tradingindicators.com/view, and Homa will put this link also into the chat to sign up for a full week of a free trial of our Liquidity View dashboard. And of course, if you like it, if you like to keep using it, we have interesting monthly and yearly options. And the beautiful thing about this is you will get instant access. So if you sign up right now, you will get access within perhaps 1 minute, and you create your account, which takes perhaps another minute, and then you have access to the very same dashboard that I will be using today. There's a question about a recording of this webinar. Yes, Jose, this recording will be posted on our YouTube page. It's tradingindicators.com/YouTube about 2 hours, maybe 3 hours in this case, after this webinar finishes. We will upload the webinar recording on our YouTube page. All right. We also have an ebook called The Power of Three, which you can download for free at tradingindicators.com/power of three. And Homa will put this link also into the chat. And lastly, if you have any ideas of how to further improve the dashboard, any feedback, any suggestions, please don't be shy. Put your questions and suggestions and feedback into the Q&A box, or send us an email afterwards, because this is what drives our further development. And indeed, many of these features which are listed here came directly from user feedback, like trade notes or dividends or new symbol requests, support for the German language, error reporting, and so forth and so forth. So all these things, were directly triggered by a user suggestion. So if you have any suggestions, please don't be shy. All right. And yes, I should put the link to the YouTube page into the chat as well. Homa, could you please do so? Maybe tradingindicators.com/YouTube is the shortcut for that. Okay, so with this, let's get into it. Let's look what the markets have been doing last week. And I'm going to switch over to our dashboard if I can find it. There we go. Here you go, our pro version of the dashboard, Liquidity View. And we're going to start with the SPY, the S&P 500 ETF. All right, so what has happened? Well, I said last week, hey guys, be careful. We are extended. It's expensive up here. The air is thin up here. We may see a pullback. Well, this pullback has not happened. You can see it here in our trend radar indicator. It stayed all green, which is okay. It's kind of expected. These pullbacks, if you look at the frequency here, they happen every 2 to 3 weeks. You can see every 2 to 3 weeks, there's a little red area here in our trend radar indicator. And with the current market condition, this is what to expect. So if we keep this pace, well, there might be a pullback coming next week or the week afterwards. But of course, there are no guarantees. I personally will wait for such a pullback before adding on to my SPY position. I have a position in the SPY for a while, And of course, the idea is that the SPY will go up over time. So by adding, or by creating or by scaling into a position in the SPY, you can systematically build wealth, but you should be doing it at the right time. So I will be adding on to my position after such a pullback, not at the current levels, which are very extended. Look how far away we are from our averages. So the current price is at 657. Our first MA rush line is at 627. That's far away. I'm going to wait until prices come down a bit closer, like this case here, or this case here, closer to these averages. This is where I will be getting more interested in adding on to my long position. All right, so SPY very extended. QQQ, well, since both symbols typically are correlated, it's pretty much the same picture, but I would like to point out something. Remember, and those of you who are joining us week after week, you will probably remember when I said, if I had a gun to my head and if I was forced to take a long position last week, which symbol would I choose, SPY or QQQ? Well, I said I probably would choose the QQQ. Why? Because it was not as far in its development yet as the SPY. The SPY already had made all-time highs, while the QQQ was still stuck below its former all-time highs, and it has some catching up to do. Well, guess what? It has caught up now. It rose by far more, rose more than the SPY last week, and it would have been the better choice to invest in from this point of view. So I'm happy this worked out, how this prediction was correct. But of course, right now we're struggling with two things. When I say struggling, I mean this very softly. Well, we're struggling with the fact that we are very extended. Prices are expensive. So also here, I prefer waiting for a bit of a pullback, something that will bring us closer to our MA rush lines. Secondly, you can see it here. We are fighting with this resistance level, this green zone here. So if I switch on our labels for the indicator, you can see, yes, prices are right at this resistance zone, actually a bit above it, but we still didn't clear it. And still there is a chance that we may bounce off this resistance level. Of course, if this happens, I will get very interesting, actually hoping for a bit of a bounce, which would get me another long entry opportunity. So I'm going to be waiting for this. But right now at the current price levels, I will stay put. I will not go long. The QQQs, of course, I will definitely not go short it because it's way too bullish for that. Talking about bullish symbols, what's going on with gold, the GLD, the Gold Spider Shares ETF? Well, also here I said, oh boy, we are extended. There are a couple of gaps after the zone break here. We can see it here a couple of weeks ago. We broke above this key resistance level, a very powerful resistance level, which was tested a few times over the course of a couple of months. Prices came up to it, bounced off. Prices came up to it, bounced off, came up to it to some degree, bounced off. And then finally, we broke this level and had a powerful breakout move afterwards, which was tradable. Now, these breakout moves are tradable. In fact, once I pull up my slides a bit later on, you will see this is one of our key setups, the zone break setup. But of course, now this breakout move has happened. And also here, it's a bit of a broken record, but also here I warn that a pullback might be imminent. Look also here how far we are away from our averages. So here, once again, I will patiently wait until prices come down to this first MA rush line, which, by the way, has proven to be very good to us. Look at what happened in the past when prices came down to this first MA rush line. Down here, immediately bought up. Down here, bought up again. Down here, bought up again until prices come down to this level. It is just a matter of when, not a matter of if. So I will be patiently waiting for this. All right. So this is gold, very extended. What about oil? So oil is going to be a quick story today because oil is pretty much business as usual. It's still stuck. Well, and when I say oil, I mean the United States Oil Fund. It is stuck in between support and resistance. And I mean these key extreme levels here around the 83 level of resistance and the 63 or 60 level of support. I will only get interested in potentially trading oil if we're actually getting up to any of these extremes. Right now in the middle, not so interesting. It's everybody's guess where prices will go next. I'm waiting for an extreme. And of course, you may remember the call we made a couple of months ago when oil approached this 83 level here. We advocate buying puts at this point, and what a follow through it was afterwards. So this is something I'll be waiting for, something I'll be more interested in trading. But right now, we are kind of stuck in no man's land. All right, but what about Bitcoin? Bitcoin is also interesting, and we pointed it out in our newsletter, which was published on Monday, that we better hold this key support cluster around the 108,000, 109,000 level. This one here. You can see how close together this support level is, this reddish area is, and this former resistance level is. They're very close together, pretty much at the same price region. And we said price better holds this level, because if not, I predicted if we break this level to the downside, we may as well visit this level down here at 98,000. This has not happened. We bounced off this level, which I believe is a good thing, especially if you're long Bitcoin, because if this will be sustained, if we don't test this level again, I think all-time highs can be tested in Bitcoin over the next couple of weeks, which are around 123,000, 124,000. So we got a nice bounce here of Bitcoin. All right, now this was our market review. And Homer, do we have any questions so far, or can I proceed with the review of the trades that we called out last week?
No, we do have some questions, so
Okay.
let's get through them.
Okay.
So Lenny is saying, well, actually wants to know, are you saying that you can't predict the pullbacks, but when you see it, you can predict the move?
Yeah, that's right. We cannot predict when the pullback will happen. This is well, it is very hard with a symbol like the QQ. Well, I'd say the SPY. Let's actually let me take gold. Let's let's take the extreme example, gold. All right. So in gold, it's really hard to predict when it will happen because there's no level where gold may bounce off from to the downside. There's no resistance level above us. You can see it here. There's really nothing there. So no technical levels above price. Because if there was, one could have predicted something like this. Where if we had a level like here in the past, hey, this will probably cause a pullback. Yes, that could have been predicted. But right now, with this situation in gold, there's nothing above us. There's no technical level above us. It's very hard to predict at which level we will pull back. But of course, um, there will be a pullback eventually. Nothing will go up in a straight line. So it's really just a question of if. But at which price level will happen in terms of gold, it's not possible to predict right now.
So Lenny just corrected me. I'm not sure if I misunderstood the question. He's saying that he was asking about predicting the rebound. Maybe if you could take a look at his uh
Okay, if it's still there, answered maybe. Oh, what you're saying is you cannot predict the pullbacks, but when you see it, you can predict the move after you see it. That's right. So once we have a pullback, that's the beauty of our trend radar indicator. It will show us these pullbacks very clearly. You can see them here, these little red patches. These are pullbacks, and these are, of course, very tradable. These are my favorite things. As a trend trader, this is where I pay attention. Now, when we have such a pullback, absolutely. So yeah, once we have pullback, we can see it clearly on our trend radar indicator, and more importantly, we can scan for it, and we can be alerted for it for our dashboard. Mm-hmm.
Great. So John wants to know, and I'm sorry, guys, I have a little bit of a cough if I sound funny.
Homa's a trooper today. She's been sick since yesterday, but she said she doesn't want to miss this session. Thanks, Homa.
So John's asking, what's the difference between the extreme SR levels you pointed out and the closer ones that show up as zones?
Oh, they're all support and resistance levels. The ones which are labeled are just the ones closest to price. So there's no other significance to it. So let me just give you an example of oil. I think we had one there, the United States Oil Fund. We had, come on, there we go. Yeah, so these ones were labeled, this one here and this one here. These were just the ones closest to price. But these are resistance levels, these are support levels, but so are these up here. So Just the ones closest to price are labeled to not clutter our price chart. All right.
Niels wants to know, do you recommend additionally using MACD or RSI for prediction?
We don't use it. I mean, many people do. It's not part of our repertoire in the sense that we have our indicators are covering for that already. So we know where these levels are. And of course, I can just visually see if price, bounces off a level. I don't need an RSI or a MACD to confirm this for me.
An anonymous attendee is saying that he's asked this question before about resistance zones and he's a bit confused. Um, in the gold, when you were showing gold, the chart price is clearly above the resistance zone.
Yeah, it broke and there's no other level above it yet. This happens actually quite a lot with symbols which are experiencing a very strong move. So right now we are basically in uncharted territory. This is the price level where gold was never before. We have no reference point as to any resistance which may come up. That's why it's not shown. These reference points will only be established once price has been in an area for quite some time, which would form a new level of resistance or support. That's why.
John wants to know, are the brighter SR lines stronger?
No.
I don't
Uh,
see, which ones is he referring to right there?
but well, actually, I see what you're saying. Sometimes they a bit more faint here, and then they go a bit
Okay, yeah.
stronger. Stronger ones if there are multiple. Oftentimes, these are established from these swing highs or swing lows. So if we have multiple swing highs or swing lows at the same price level, our algorithm kind of has determines whether the level is considered the same, even though it's not to the cent, but there's some tolerance there. And if there are multiple of a few of these swing highs at similar price levels, it will draw them a bit stronger. Whether they hold up more, that's debatable because it also means that this level was tested more. And actually, my philosophy is a bit different in the sense that the more often a level is tested, on my book, in my view, it will weaken it a little bit more. It's like, as I said last week and the weeks before, imagine having a nice pick in your hand and, hammering down on a frozen pond. Eventually, it's going to weaken and break. And it's kind of the same analogy here. So don't pay attention too much on this thickness. It's just an indication of how many times this level has been tested. It's not necessarily an indication of how strong the level is.
Arter is saying that the resistance zones don't match with the numbers now, and maybe they need to be adjusted, the thickness of the resistance zones.
Arthur, maybe send me a screenshot afterwards what you mean by this. Because the levels should match more. Look, this one is from 315.70 to 319. So if you look at the extreme three, I mean, that's in the neighborhood at least to 319. I think it matches up pretty closely. Maybe if not, send me a screenshot.
Devendra wants to know if you have any comments on VIX.
Well, the VIX is an indication of how volatile the markets are. If markets are less volatile, they tend to be more appreciated by investor, and the markets tend to be quite bullish in a sense. So if you look at the VIX, it must be at very low levels. Yeah, 14.76. Very low, of course. Look at how low the VIX was in recent month, meaning the stock market most likely would be very bullish, and of course, it has been very bullish. So, yeah, super low levels. It's not going to stay this low forever. We're going to eventually. It's just again also here in this case a matter of when, not if. Eventually going to go above 20, 25. Now we're going to see a deeper correction in the market. But right now there are no signs for that. So yeah. It's just extra confirmation that yes, we are very bullish in the markets.
So Aubrey's made a comment about seasonality. Do you see it there? Maybe you can take a read and
Uh,
comment on that.
if it's not too long, I can try. Yeah, always says the second week of September is typically bullish, but in the same token, the first 2 weeks of September are bearish from a seasonal point of view, which has not happened. So I'm not sure. Maybe this year is a bit of an exception on seasonality. The markets just went into one direction, even in the beginning of September. So I'm not sure about this, how much value this year at least is in that fact. I guess we'll see. So if you're going to get any more bullish in the second 2 weeks of September, the last 2 weeks of September, man, I'm going to see an even bigger incline in price. I kind of doubt it because we're so extended already. So I actually, again, will be a bit more cautious. You may see a bit of a correction in the next 2 weeks, but who knows? All right. Okay. So let's move on. We're gonna get back to those questions a bit later in this presentation. Okay. Now, what I want to do now is I want to do a quick review of the trades we looked at last week and how they panned out. So for this, I'm going to open up our watch list that we created last week. And by the way, you may have noticed I renamed them to weekly swing trades because the idea is that down the road, we're going to add more watch lists to the whole mix. So I wanted to give it a bit more qualified name. So weekly swing trades from September 6th. So I'm going to click on it. We had 8 trades here. The first one was the Care Trust REIT. Here the idea was a long break retrace. Prices broke above this resistance level, came up, came back down as our long zone break retrace setup. We said, hey, this could be an interesting point to enter. Price didn't really come down to our entry level here, but nonetheless, we did see a bit of a bounce off this level. So this worked out as predicted, just the retracement was not as deep as I wanted to see for a long entry. But overall, yeah, it seems to be working out. The GDG.AX ticker, Generation Development Group Limited. Yeah, beautiful zone break retrace here. Look at this. We broke above this level, came up, down to the broken level, and then a nice spike upwards. That would have been a beautiful trade. I didn't trade it personally. I took the last one here. I'm going to comment on this. But yeah, that was a thing of beauty. It worked out just as predicted. The Hella GmbH or GmbH, as you would say in German, a German company. Yeah, not much happened here. We were at this key support level. We're predicting a bounce. Prices went up initially a bit, then down again, pretty much at the same price level as we were last week. So here I'm still hoping potentially for a bounce off the support level towards higher price levels. Republic Services, Waste Management. I'm going to look at WCN at the same time. Yeah, we're kind of struggling a bit with this support level. We wicked below it. We had a couple of liquidity captures here. We held it. Now we're hanging on to dear life at this point. It kind of smells a bit more bearish to me, and I would not be surprised if we see price levels of 223 next week. Then we're going to go a bit further down. It kind of feels to me that prices may come down a bit further, maybe testing this former support level here at 224. Very same to Waste Connections. Also here, it smells to me that, yeah, look at this. We might be losing this level and coming down to this next level here at 169. And we mentioned it last time that, hey, I definitely would not trade both to the long side. I would pick one or the other. And for Waste Connection, I said, oftentimes, if two levels are close to each other, like this one here at 177 and then the one here at 169, oftentimes it's the lower one which is the more powerful one. So here it kind of feels to me that, hey, we may come down all the way to this support level before we see a bounce in this symbol. Next one, SSM.AX, Service Stream Limited, another Australian stock which worked out beautifully. I'm not sure if anybody took that trade. If you did, please put a little comment into the Q&A box. But look at this one here. As predicted, zone break retrace, huge follow through. Yeah. This week. So this would have been a fantastic trade. And lastly, we have two more. We have Western Midstream Partners LP. Was it set up here? A long bounce setup. Yeah, it's in progress. So far so good. And then we had the Williams companies trade. I purchased options in, call options. Volatility was low. I bought them actually a couple of days before last week's webinar, which worked out nicely. They came all the way up. I already booked some partial profits. I'm still hoping for prices to tech or to come closer to this resistance level here around 61. So far, so good. I think we did pretty well last week. Let's see if we can repeat the same story this week. Let's see which symbols are most interesting for the next week and the next 2 weeks ahead. So for this, I'm going to go back to my end of day scan. I'm going to quickly go back to our slides. And I'm going to show you our process. So the process will be, we're going to focus on one setup at a time. I'm going to start with the bounce setup, then the zone break setup, and then the zone break retrace setup. Based on what we find, we're going to create a watch list, which I will be sharing with you. So everybody who has access to the dashboard can see these picks directly in your account. And then we're going to do a detailed analysis of the stocks in that watch list. All right. So what are these three setups? First off, the bounce setup. And the bounce setup, I like it best if it is preceded by what's called a healthy pullback. What's that? Well, a healthy pullback happens if you have a stock, which first of all is in a long-term uptrend. I like these stocks. I like stocks where the trend is very established, been going up for quite some time. And in my book, the longer a trend continues, the stronger, the more stable it is. All right, so that's step number one. Step number two, of course, we want this trend to temporarily, and the focus is, or the emphasis is on temporarily, we want this trend to temporarily weaken, meaning price is coming down a little bit, pulling back a little bit. It's going to be less expensive to get into this trade to the long side with less risk on the table. And this can be shown to us by our trend radar indicator. You can see it right here, which is showing us, in this case, a healthy pullback. And the first four rows here, I should say, are red, while the last one is still green, meaning we're in the longer term uptrend, which is represented by the last row here. We are seeing a pullback on the medium and short term. You can see it here, prices came down. That's still a healthy trend. These pullbacks are completely normal within any trend, and these are great opportunities to enter in the wrong direction. And ideally, you want to enter when this pullback coincides with a key support level. This is where this slide here comes in. You can see this reddish area here. This is a key support level. We want price to come down to this key support level, because then we can anticipate that the chances of a bounce off this level will outpace the chance of a break of this level. In trading, this is part of trading. You make a prediction in your head. Okay, how big are the chances of prices to move up versus for price going down? And if you think in your head, if your technical indicators say, okay, the chances of prices to go up outpace the chance of it going down, well, then you may place a trade. But this is something you should do in your head. So this is our long bounce setup. So how can we scan for this? Well, let's go back to our dashboard. I'm going to go here, and we can see we are currently scanning through more than 5,600 stocks. Okay, and by the way, guys, if you haven't seen it yet, let me just show you some new feature. Let's just, for the fun of it, gonna add some more columns here. Look what happens when I scroll my bar here. This is a brand new feature. You may not seen it yet. If I scroll this, look at the first column here. It stays put, meaning you will always know what's the symbol with these. What is the symbol at hand? Is it Agilent or Alcoa or American Airlines or whatever it might be? Yeah, you can see it right there. So even if you scroll through your scanner, the first column, the symbol column, will stay put. If you decide to do so, because you can disable or enable this feature via the settings here, simply by enabling freeze symbol column. If you disable it and you scroll, so it's like this. If you enable it, the first column will be frozen. So I think that's a really cool feature, making it a bit easier to use the dashboard. Okay, so let's scan. Now, criteria number one was what? We want the stock to be in a long-term uptrend. How can we scan for this? Well, this is where our MA rush indicator comes in. So I'm going to just hide a couple of columns here just to keep it a little bit cleaner. So MA rush is the indicator which will show you directly on your price chart whether we are currently bullish or bearish by means of these labels here. Let me just hide this real quick too. So you can see this bullish label here, and before this, we had, and for this particular symbol, we had a bearish label. These labels are always, oh boy, I have to go back a long time for this. These labels are, oh my goodness, are always alternating. You can see it here. We were bearish before, now bullish. The next move would be if we go bearish again, and so forth. And we can scan for this. We can scan for stocks which are currently bullish, meaning where the last label printed on your chart is a bullish label. So how do we do this? By simply going to our MA rush column here, and we select bullish. There are many more criteria here. which we could use, and these would be explained in the boot camp, for example. The link is in the chat. But in this case, we're going to just simply use the bullish flag here, or the bullish filter. Once done, we can see of our 5,600 stocks, 2,800 are currently bullish, so smack down the middle. Yeah, so, and which is not very surprising. Half the stocks go down, half the stocks go up, give or take. All right, so 2,800 symbols are bullish, but of course, way too many to go through these manually. So this is 2,000 stocks. That's too much. So the next criteria would be to see if we pull back to a key support level. How do we do this? Well, we're going to be using our liquidity IQ indicator, the one that prints these levels on the chart to do the scan for us. And for example, for this stock here, you can actually see, this row highlighted, it says short bounce. So short bounce means what? It means we might be bouncing off to the short side, to the downside. And when can this happen? Well, it can happen when price is approaching a resistance level from which we may bounce off from to the downside. But of course, this is not what we're looking for. We want the prices to be near support level down here. So how can we find this? How can we find these stocks? Well, simply by going to our liquidity setup column here and selecting long bounce. And once I do this, you'll see this number is going to go way down. So I'm going to click on it, down to only 101 stocks. That's pretty good. We're zooming in a little bit. All right. And then one thing I like to do is to sort by trend duration. So you can see this number here next to our MA rush arrow. That's the duration of the trend. So for example, here for Boeing is recovering. Boeing has been in an uptrend for 75 trading days. And if you were to count the bars from the last bar on the chart all the way back to this label, guess to which number you would get? You would get to 75. And in fact, Boeing is actually quite an interesting candidate here. Let me just quickly see what's going on. It's definitely recovering. Boeing hit rock bottom a while back, but since then, look at this move up. Since it hit this key support level here, a couple of liquidity captures, and nice recovery. We initially went up and now down to this key support level. I actually kind of like this one. Yeah, and down at this level here with the liquidity capture and the level 4 pullback as our trend radar indicator. You know what? I'm going to add Boeing to our bucket list, anticipating that we may see a bounce off this key support level towards at least this swing trading level. So let me go here to our watch list. We're going to create a new watch list. Weekly swing trades with today's date. All right, so create. All right, weekly swing trades, colon 2025 09 13. I'm going to create it. There we go. And by the way, we had a small bug earlier this week, which affected the creation of new watch list. This has been fixed. Okay, so this has been created. I'm going to share this watch list with everybody here now in the room. So I have this little share button here, which is only for administrators. So I'm going to click on it. It's shared now. And I'm going to unshare the oldest watch list. So the idea is that you only see the last 5 watch lists in your account. I'm going to unshare this one. Done. Okay. Perfect. This is done, and I'm going to add Boeing to it. I kind of like Boeing. Let's see how this one pans out. But before I found Boeing, actually just stumbled over it by looking through this. I said I prefer personally to sort by trend duration. You don't have to do it. Boeing, in fact, is only bullish for 75 trading days. I kind of like the technical setup anyways. But what I normally like to do is to sort by trend duration from highest to lowest by clicking on this MA rush column here. You can see here, the first one that pops up, once I do this, is AMP, Ameriprise Financial Inc. Bullish for 1,313 trading days, but currently pulled back to a support level. But you know what? Even though I think it's an interesting setup, I don't like the fact that we lost this level previously. You can see here, price actually went below this level. Now we recovered a bit. It's an interesting one, but I'm going to skip this one. I think we may see another leg further down, especially since this level didn't hold in the past. It may recover, of course, but you know what? Well, there's so many stocks we could possibly trade. I'm going to skip this one. Next one is Hella GmbH, the same stock that we pointed out last week. I like it. I think prices are coming down to this level. It's held so far. Let's keep this on our radar. So I'm going to add this one to our watch list. Next one, Westinghouse Air Brake Technologies Corporation. What a name. Okay, WAB ticker symbol. Also an interesting one, bullish for quite some time. Yeah, we had all-time highs here late in July or early July. Now the pullback to this key support level. The only thing here, oh no, this looks good. Yeah, I guess if prices come down to 186, this could be an interesting long opportunity. So maybe wait a little bit further until prices go here to for potential long entries. I'm going to add this one as well. Oops. All right. Done. Okay, Post Holdings. Yeah, a stock that we had looked at for quite a long time. I'm gonna skip it because this level was broken before. I can see the support level here. I think if since we're coming down here, it's probably this level down here which will be tested, and we're not there yet. So I'm gonna skip this one for now. Die Corporación América Airports. Okay, and by the way, if you don't know what a stock is in the pro version, you can actually just click on the summary button here to actually read through this one. Actually, this one was created in Luxembourg, even though it sounds very Spanish. Let's see what's going on here. Yeah, bullish for 1,168 trading days, went down to this key support level. Yeah, I think it's interesting. Even though the resistance level is not far away, you can see at 1935 or 1910, resistance already at 2080. I'm going to skip this one too. Let's try to be a bit more selective today. All right. Okay, so then we have one Australian stock. Let's have a quick look. QBE.AX. Yeah. In fact, let me just skip through a couple of them. You can see these are all interesting setups, definitely all worthwhile trading. But let me find a stock which is a bit more better known. Let's see, Pearson.plc. What's going on there? Yeah, definitely testing this level with a couple of gaps here to be filled. So this gap here was filled. Now we're testing this level down here. Definitely something interesting. Yeah, I kind of like this one. I don't like this gap here, which might get tested over time, but I think at this price level here, we may see a bounce off this level, but we have another resistance level here. You know what? I'm going to skip this one too. Let's just go all the way down to Boston Scientific Corporation. This is one of my favorite ones. It looks really nice. It has all the ingredients. Near support, long-term uptrend, and a level 4 pullback as per our trend radar indicator. So this is definitely one of the stocks I really enjoyed seeing coming down to this level here. I think this could be a very interesting long setup, and this could very well be our trade of the week for Monday. This depending on how the market's open. So definitely going to add this one to our list. All right, done. And one more we have here. I'm gonna skip these ones here. We have SAP for all the Germans ones, German viewers here. SAP, of course, big German, one of the biggest German companies. I think the one with the most or the biggest market capitalization at the time is coming down to a key support level. So, yes, you may say, oh my goodness, SAP, Daniel, you called it up here that we may bounce off the support level. Didn't work out. We had the break below. This could have been a nice short break trade. Now we are approaching this key support level. I think if we are coming down to this level, this could be a really interesting long, anticipating that this overarching long trend is to resume. So I'm going to add this one to our list. And I hope, guys, that you see how easy it is to find these interesting swing trading ideas. There's so many here, which actually all look very interesting. I have to be a bit selective. And every single day after market close, you will get new ideas. That's the beauty of it. This is not something you only should do on the weekends. In fact, I do it every single day to see which trades are of interest. And many times I execute them in my own portfolio. All right, but let's move on. Let's move on to our next setup because we definitely want to go to some custom or requested symbols as well. The next one is the zone break setup. So eventually every zone will be broken. Every support zone will be broken to the downside, and every resistance level, this green level here, will be broken to the upside. But if this happens, also new opportunities for us are opening up because then we can use what we call a breakout trade. A breakout trade anticipates that the trade or price will continue in the direction of the breakout for quite some time. And you can imagine how you can take advantage of this. So how can we scan for these? And today we're only going to scan for the breakout to the long direction. How can we scan for this? Well, very easy. I'm going to go back to our dashboard and we're going to clear out all our filters and we're going to use our Liquidity IQ setup column here and scan for long break, meaning we want to scan for stocks which are currently trading above their resistance level. And this will pick up all kinds of stock. For example, let me just find a very good example here. Let's say this. Actually, let me just sort real quick just for the fun of it. Let's just pick. It doesn't matter. I wanted to pick a very, very bullish one, but this one I guess is nice. Look at the stock here. We broke above this resistance level here back in May, and what a follow through we had. This is what we want. But of course, right now for the stock, this is way too late now. We are way past the breaking point. So what we want to find are stocks where this break just recently happened. And we can scan for that as well. We can simply go back to the filter here and select within the last 5 bars, or perhaps within the last bar. I'm going to do this. Within the last bar, which stocks have broken out? And one stock that I can see right away just by going through this list here is, I'm going to skip these, well, I guess it's this one here, GATX Corporation, at the brink of a breakout here above this resistance level. Even though here the verdict, I think, is not in yet, we're still struggling with this level here. I'm going to skip it because we may still bounce off it. This is a very important level. It may take some time to break it. But one stock that really spiked my interest because it's a very well-known name, and Aubrey, you might be happy for this, I believe you will be, is this one here. JP Morgan Chase, the Cadillac of all US banks, is breaking above its resistance level. Wow. It's a bullish stock, very bullish stock to begin with no signs of slowing down. And look what's happening right now. I like this setup. And depending on how markets open on Monday, I potentially will enter a small long position here, anticipating that this breakout move will accelerate in the next week or weeks. So this is definitely an interesting scenario building up here. JP Morgan Chase breaking out, a stock that we have traded many times in the past, typically on a rebound when we came down to a level and we entered long, which happened here. Here we wanted to get in, we didn't get our fill, and now it's breaking out. And since this breakout is very fresh, I anticipate something like this, a breakout like at least by a couple of percent. My profit target will be somewhat conservative, not too far away, because you may see a bit of a retracement afterwards. But initially, now I think this could have lags at least to something like 313, 315. And you could take advantage of this as trader. So I'm definitely going to add this one to our list. But of course, you will need to be careful because something like this can happen. Yeah. Oops. 1 second. Where's my, there we go. Yeah, something like this may happen where we have the breakout, where we go above our resistance level. We initially go up, but then we pause and we actually come back down to the broken resistance level. We call it the zone break retrace. This is where the market tries to fake you out by coming down to the broken resistance level, which is now acting as support. And oftentimes, this is the perfect launch pad for establishing your main long position for that symbol. So this would mean for my JP Morgan trade, as I mentioned, I will set my profit target very conservatively, maybe somewhere here, not too far away, because this retracement, there's a good chance it will happen. And I'm going to be ready for that. But nonetheless, this breakout move is tradable, especially with an instrument like JP Morgan Chase. So, but of course, we can also scan for these setups here, where the stock already came down to this level. So how can we do this? Well, back to the dashboard, and we are going to pick another filter, the long break retrace. When I click on it, you can see only 16 stocks actually qualify for this. Wow, that's very selective of our 5,600 stocks. And if I sort by trend duration by clicking on our MA Rush column here, we can see the first one that pops up is AutoNation. All right, so what do we see here? Yes, interesting setup. A super bullish stock, broke above resistance. Actually, if I zoom out or zoom in a little bit more, you can see it here. We broke above this resistance level, this green line. We came up, came back down exactly to this level. So big retrace the first, back up again. And now it seems like we're coming back down to this level one more time. And if we do, this can happen multiple times. If we come back down to this level one more time, I'll be very interested in going long this symbol as well. But I want price to come down a little bit further for this. So I'm going to add this one to our watch list as well. And one more, There are other ones too, but we don't have that much time. Arista Networks. Yeah, also bullish. We had the zone break here. We broke above resistance, came initially up, bit of a gap here, which was filled but it's big downbar on Friday. And also here, I think if we are coming down to this level, we get our fill. This could be a very interesting long opportunity. Just one concern here is this gap here. So I think if we come down here, if we don't see immediate bullish bounce action, there is a chance we're actually going to try to fill this gap. So the retracement will be a bit deeper. We're coming down to this first MA rush level here. So just be aware of this, that, this may happen. This correction that we're seeing right now may go down a bit deeper in an attempt to fill this gap. But nonetheless, I'm going to add this to our watch list as well. Oops. Where did it go? Perfect. All right. So yeah, I think these are really interesting. And let's just recap real quick what we've seen in our watch list. I'm going to open up this watch list. We have 8 stocks in there. All right. Let's go through them really quick. I'm going to order them real quick by setup. So Hella GmbH, yeah, pretty much same setup as last week. I'm not going to add a new trade note to it. We can add trade notes via the symbol here. The trade note from last week from, oh, what happened here? Oh, I didn't take a trade note last week. In fact, let me just take one right now. So we have it right here. I'm going to add the screenshot from today to our trade notes. Of course, I can also add some text if I wanted to. I don't have time for this now, but this could be an interesting trade to the long side now that it's trading right at this key support level. SAP. Yes, SAP, I really wanted to come down to this level. If it does, this could be an interesting long trade as well. So I'm going to add this one to our trade note as well. And the cool thing about these trade notes is that it will keep your annotation. So this little box here, which I've annotated my chart with, it will be part of the trade notes. Boeing. Yes, Boeing looks interesting. Definitely for a long entry. I like it right at this support level. I mean, if you believe that Boeing has lags, it's basically just Airbus and Boeing is recovering slowly from its downfall that it had, then this could be an interesting long opportunity, anticipating, yes, Boeing might bounce off this level towards this resistance level. So I like this one too. Going to add a trade note to this as well. All right. Done. There we go. Next one, Westinghouse Air Brake Technologies Corporation. Yeah, this one is good too. The only thing here which I don't like that much is it's really volatile. Look at how deep these swings are. I'm not that confident that this level will hold because these swings tend to be really big. I'm gonna skip this one for today, so I'm not gonna add a trade note to it. I know we had it back in February this year. I can see it here on my trade note back then at 188.19. Oh boy, when was that? Let me just quickly see where this happened. When was February this year? Yeah, somewhere here, prices came back up, but it took a while. We had this big swing down. Yeah, so I'm gonna skip it. I think it's a bit too volatile for my taste. Boston Scientific Corporation. That's a great one. I really like the setup. It looks beautiful. Everything comes together. Let me just count it out for you. Long-term bullish for 699 trading days, right at a key support level. Level 4 pullback as per trend radar, and a liquidity capture event at the very last bar. Love it. Definitely on my radar. And as I said, this symbol has good chances to become our trade of the week in our newsletter on Monday. Alternation. All right. Yeah, here I want one price to come down for a zone break retrace. I like it because of the gap that we saw there. Come on, let's go. Arista Networks. I don't like the gap here. I mentioned it. I would be careful. I think prices may come down to test this gap. So entering here might be a bit premature. So I'm gonna skip it for now. But I do like JP Morgan Chase. And Aubrey, did you comment on this one? I'm not sure. Let me see if Aubrey said something. Typically, Aubrey likes to comment on these things. Maybe not. Anyways, I like it. Aubrey, I know this is a stock which is also in your portfolio. I like this breakout move with a conservative profit target. So I'm definitely going to add this one to our watch list as well. And of course, we had this one many times in our trade notes. Yeah, lately, at least lately on August 9th. We didn't get our fill before this. We had it on August 2nd, where we got the fill, I believe, and before this on July 13th for a long trade. So yeah, great symbol. I'm going to add another trade note here with today's price data. All right, I believe it's a nice lineup for next week. I'm super excited. It's going to be interesting. Let's see how the markets open, and then we're gonna see what happens. And Aubrey said, yes, JP Morgan is a long-term core holding in his portfolio. Absolutely. All right. So you must be happy that's going really well with JPM. All right, guys. Are there any symbols that we can go through?
I think we have a bunch of questions first. Is that okay, Daniel, if we get
Let's
through
do it. Yeah.
those? Okay. So Lenny wants to know why Hella is not considered a bear flag. Why are you
It,
saying it's bullish?
well, it's bullish based on the criteria which we have pointed out, like in the sense that it's long term. And you're right. It looks like a bear flag here, but it's also at this key support level, which was tested a few times here. But you're right, Lenny, that the longer this sideways move continues here, the more bear flaggish it will look. I think we're right at the threshold now. But I kind of feel this could be the lower end of this, you know, sideways channel, this correction here. It's been there for quite some time. It's bounced off this level quite some time, and it's a long-term bullish stock. Um, like look at this one here. We came down to this level. We kept in the proximity for quite some time, which is also a bear flag for sure. And then we took out in the long direction. I kind of feel it's kind of a similar scenario here where we just are going back and forth at this key support level, and eventually we're going to continue to the bullish side. But of course, I don't have a crystal ball. If it's a true bear flag, we will see more downside action. That's true.
With reference to your comments about the VIX, didn't you recently make a quick trade in that it says to 18?
Oh, I did. Yeah, I already closed
Yeah.
it out a long time ago. Yeah, I uh, I bought some Wix calls when it was really low. Um, I forget when it was, somewhere around this level. Here, also on the 14th, I bought them. I sold them here when the VIX spiked up to 22. Yeah, already out of these. You know, with call options, they all have an expiration date. You want to keep as much time value as you can. So yeah, close up with a small profit. But yeah, I might do it again. Yeah, if the VIX is very low, maybe with a month expiration or 2 months expiration, it's pretty certain that the VIX will eventually spike up to higher price levels, maybe with an 18 strike price. And if you get that spike, yeah, get rid of it again. Mhm.
So is the bounce the first green bar in the slide? It says here in the slide, but I'm not sure if he's referring to the chart.
Oh, I wouldn't know what. Yeah, it's well, bounce is just basically the setup where we are anticipating a bounce. So even on this bar here, the scanner would have shown us a bounce setup, even though the actual bounce hasn't happened yet. And in fact, in case of SAP, if you remember, SAP, we are nowhere near this level yet, and yet it's already flagged as a bounce setup. So scanner gives you a heads up. Hey, we are nearing this support level. This could be an interesting bounce.
Okay, so it's not necessarily, maybe Daniel clarify, it's not necessarily related to the first green bar.
No, it's not. We
It's
just have to be in the
yeah.
neighborhood of the support level. Whether it's
So
a
yeah.
green bar or a red bar doesn't matter.
So yeah, it's important to make that clarification, I think.
Mhm.
Um, what does a pullback column represent?
Yeah, it's representing this trend radar indicator down here. So if we scan for it, actually a scan I love to run. We didn't have time today. It's just this scan here. Bullish stocks with a level 4 pullback. Look at this. And I sort by trend duration. The first one that pops up here is this Australian stock. Now you can say about Australian stocks what you want, but these ones have moved a lot from our setups last week. So XRF.AX, nice stock. Look at this. Nice uptrend here, but pulled back to a level 4 in trend radar, which sometimes can be interesting long entry opportunities after such a pullback. But of course, here we would approach this resistance level, so I wouldn't take it. But if you combine this, for example, with stocks which have currently broken above their support, the resistance level, like a long break, actually we only have one here. RDM.AX. What's this one? Yeah. Oh, look at this one. That's a beauty. Actually, I probably should add this one to our list too. Look at this stock. Bullish for 351 trading days. We broke above this resistance level, came all the way down to it, and a level 4 pullback as per trend radar. I like actually, I'm going to add this one to our list. I stumbled over it. Okay, perfect.
I knew I had a question about Australian symbols. I was trying to look for it now that you brought it up. So it's from Archer. Is it a good time to trade Australian symbols? And he wanted to actually look at some at let me
Well,
look.
well, if you look at our
ASX
last
200.
Yeah, but first of all, is it a good time? I mean, we really don't discriminate which symbol it is as long as the technical setup is right. And of course, if you look at our picks last week, the Australian symbols were the shiners. Yeah, we came down here, bang up. What a trade it was. And the other one too. I think Service Stream, was it this one? Yeah, look at this. Long break and what a move up it was to the long side. So yeah, as long as the setup is right, yeah, any symbol could be right. And Omar, what was the symbol that you want to look at?
Well, he's making an interesting comment. Is it a good time to trade ASX 200 over the
Oh,
S&P
the
500?
I said, oh, the actual index.
Yeah.
I wonder if we have it in our let me at the asset class column to it to see if we have that index in our list. Yes, X, yeah, no,
Yeah, I
oh,
think
we
we
do.
do have
Yeah,
it. Yeah,
yeah,
there
there
it
we
is.
go. Okay, let's have a look. Yeah, we're definitely above our resistance level with a bit of a pullback, not at all-time highs, but yeah, if I mean, it definitely looks very bullish. And we're not so extended as the SPY and the QQQ. So yeah, potentially. I didn't consider it yet, but that could be an interesting alternative to get some long exposure to one of these indexes because we are not at the all-time high yet. They're not too far away, but we're a bit closer to the averages for sure. Look how close prices to our averages here. Yeah, could be.
Could we take a look at
Yeah.
GTK.AX?
G, okay, GTK.AX.
That's right.
Oops. All right, long bounce. Okay, so long-term bullish stock currently at a support level. It's hovering there. Yeah, I mean, it's an interesting one. If this level can hold, often it's not my favorite setup if we are too long at a level like this one here, because we're kind of testing and testing it. And if you use my ice pick analogy, maybe eventually it will be broken. So maybe not my first pick for a long trade, but definitely an interesting symbol, which is definitely bullish. And I'll pull back to this, well, transform into the sideways consolidation, and we are at the lower end of the sideways consolidation. But yeah, I like it. Interesting.
So Ashley would like us to take a look at United Health.
Yeah. It's what is this? UAH. No, UH. What's the sticker symbol of this again? Let's
I'm
find it.
looking it up as we're
Not sure why it wasn't. Maybe I misspelled it. United Health. Come on.
UNH.
UNH. Okay.
That's right.
Why did it? Oh, it's one word. That's why it wasn't picked up. Oh, okay, got it. UNH. Yes. So bearish 124 trading days. Yeah, that's it's I think I know why you asked for this because I think last week or maybe the week before we said it's bearish and we're approaching this resistance level. This could maybe be a good opportunity to buy puts here, anticipating a lag down, a bearish bounce of this resistance level. It didn't happen. We broke above this level. You can see it here, prices are above this level. And now the next test would be to see if you can come up all the way to this former support level, which also may act as resistance. Then we may see a bounce. If we even get above this level, I think then we have a pretty good chance of filling this gap. So then I think I would change my tune to be more bullish. But for now, I'm still bearish. This stock, just this correction of this bearish move is just a bit higher than anticipated. That's my take.
Can we take a look at CRWD, please? And then Tesla.
CrowdStrike. Yes. So just a bit of cold reading here without opening up the chart. Let's see what it says. Bullish for 484 trading days. and a short bounce since 3 bars, meaning we just approached a resistance level, and we are near that resistance level for 3 bars now. So let's click on it to see if that actually is true. All right. Yeah, see, we're coming up to this resistance level here. That's why it has a short bounce. It gives us a bit of a warning. Would I go short at this level? No, I would not. We're too bullish for this. But, would I go long right now? Neither, because we may bounce this level off this level. So here I would either rather wait until we pull back a bit deeper, or we clear this level to the upside, and then we could potentially look for a long trade with a target around this resistance level up here.
Kevin wants us to take a look at MP, please.
MP, scroll through it real quick. There we go, MP. All right. Okay, bullish for 151 trading days. Okay, oh, nice one. I like it. Yeah, nice bullish move up. Two gaps here, which kind of I don't like too much, but nice zone break here. Initial follow through and then the retracement down to this broken level. So this could be indeed a nice zone break retrace setup. I like it. Just these two gaps, if these were to be filled, we're going to see a much deeper correction, but perhaps with a low risk option, maybe a small position size, or perhaps with an options trade with call options. This could be something of interest. Yep.
I was answering some questions in the chat. Did you take a look at Tesla?
Okay, let me just, no, not yet.
Okay.
Let's look at Tesla. Yeah, let's see what's going on here. Oh boy, it's coming back, huh? What a recovery. Oh man, I guess it paid off that Elon Musk is focusing more on uh, industry rather than politics. Yeah, wow. Big move down here initially to 208. It held this key support level held, and what a recovery it's been. Now we broke above this resistance level. And I think now it looks really, really bullish to me. And who knows? We might see another move towards the all-time highs at 488. Looks very bullish. Yeah, I like it.
Kevin has a question about sorting based on sectors. Actually,
Yeah.
two-part question. So we have that already.
Hmm.
So Daniel maybe you can show how that works by sector and industry.
Yeah. So if
Some
you want to filter,
examples that he's giving is mining metals, rare earth minerals, defense, space
yeah.
tech.
Yeah, what you can do, if it's just a sector, we have 11 sectors based on the S&P sector classification. You can see them here, and you can just simply click on a filter like energy to see all the stocks which are within the energy sector. So that's one. This is by sector. For industry group, and there's so many different industries. We don't have a drop down for that because it's too many. It wouldn't fit. There are hundreds of them. You would need to type them in. So if you're interested in mining, just type in mining, yeah, and you see all the stocks which are in a mining sector. So that's how it would work. And then
And
similar to other industries.
and he'd like to know about sorting by volume increase or decrease for breakout calls or breakdown puts.
Well, we do have a volume column here called volume delta, which shows you, hey, how much, what is it? How much did the volume increase over the last, over its average, on the last bar? So you have it here, and see the volume increases above its average. But that's all we have so far. And in terms of sorting, you can say, hey, which stock really had a huge volume breakout, like this one here on the last bar, 150%. Oof, that's the craziest. Yeah, okay, this is I guess not so interesting. But maybe some other ones would be, yeah, I guess for these extreme ones with these crazy volume numbers, the stock is quite erratic. But if you add this to a price filter, you just go to the price here, maybe price above, I don't know, $25 and volume above 100%, you get some more interesting stocks like Adobe, for example. Yeah, but we had some volume accumulation in the last bars.
So another feature question about Liquidity View, a way to limit the scan to US stocks. And I know
Yeah,
we're working on that. Has that been?
yeah, it's already possible. What you can do is, so you can either limited to stocks traded on US exchanges or
That's right.
stocks which are headquartered in the US but traded someplace else. So let me go through the exchange route first. So you can add this exchange column here, and then you can just say, okay, I only want to see stocks traded in and the New York Stock Exchange, these three exchanges here, and perhaps the Nasdaq, and maybe the OTCs. So now you're down to only the key US stocks here.
But as a heads up, we're working on a feature where
Yeah,
by default, you can
yeah.
actually have
Hmm.
it limited to US stocks. So every time you log in again, you
Yeah,
don't have to do this.
yeah. That's right. But yeah, that was a way to do it to you know, limited by US stocks. And then what you can do, because now, all these filters, you made this column very big. You can actually then hide this column to see more, get more scan real estate by going to the filter, to the column configurator here and hide this column. It's still filtered, the filter still applies, but the column will not be shown because you already know, hey, you only filtered by this column.
When is that feature going to be released?
Oh, maybe in a month or so. Yeah,
Okay.
where we have the different defaults.
Okay. Um, Senna wants to know, is it possible to scan the way we're doing in Motive Wave? For example, if we wanted to have Liquidity IQ and MA Rush, it just in the same kind of setup.
You need to combine it somehow with these two columns. I'm not sure what exactly you are scanning in Motive Wave, but you can play with these filter criteria in MA Rush and Liquidity IQ to get something similar.
Aubrey would like to look at JPM, please. I think you mentioned it earlier.
I think we did that already on JP Morgan, Aubrey. So yeah, bullish, nice breakout stock. Mhm.
Okay. Open for Devendra.
Yeah. Open door technologies. Okay. Yeah, breaking out above probably a level here. Yeah, nice break above this resistance level. There's a gap here. I'll be careful to enter now. I think we're gonna might come down a bit further towards this broken level for a zone break retrace. So be careful. I think it's extended. We may come down further. Similar to Oracle, huh? Oracle's also had, of course, a huge break after a fundamental announcement. Uh, Huge move up. Larry Edison, no, whatever his name is. He became, what's his name? I forget. Whatever. He became the richest man in the world for a couple of hours after this big spike because he holds so many Apple shares. So he exceeded Elon Musk, but then he lost this title again with this pullback. And I think here there's a good chance you may actually pull back even further towards this broken resistance level, maybe even attempt to fill this gap. So I would be careful also entering long Oracle right now. This pullback may be a bit further down.
Can we take a look at Oklo, OKLO for Mariola, please?
Yeah. Alrighty. So, okay, just by looking at the scanner here without opening a chart, we are at a resistance level right now. It's been 4 trading days. You can see it here, yeah, right at this level, which is pulling up here. Yeah, it's an interesting one. If we can break this level right now, entering long, I think it's dangerous. We're right at this resistance level, so a bounce is not unlikely. If you come down to this first ME rush level, that could be a better entry level, but right now, too risky, right at this resistance level. That's why it says short bounce here as well in the scanner. And then we have BMNR. Yes. All right. The big in mining cryptos. Yeah, it's a new stock. It's hard to analyze this stock with because there's not so much historical price data right in the middle between support and resistance. And yeah, I mean, there's room towards this level. So maybe a long scalp. It definitely looks a bit bullish towards this level. Might not be the worst idea, but I personally would not trade it. Um, this big move. Who knows what's gonna happen now? If we break above this level, yeah, perhaps a long trade. But right now, just to speculate, hey, it's gonna go to this resistance level, maybe a bit premature.
I really like this question actually. Van wants to know if you can give him some guidance on how to use the sector data in comparison to the individual stock. So not just how to find it, but how would you use it in your trading?
Yeah. Well, I mean, we can just look up one of the stocks that we had today. I mean, if you just take JP Morgan, classic example. So JP Morgan is already in a very bullish setup. It just broke above resistance here. And then we look at the sector, which is financial services, and we can see, okay, that sector also just is breaking out right now above its resistance level, the XLF. So if you look here, so basically both things are breaking out, really going to the upside. So I think this stock will get a boost from its sector in that way. So it's definitely not against the overall trend of the sector, which, that could be a correlation there. In this case, if there's a correlation, it will get a boost from the sector, which is exactly the reason why we've added this sector information.
So Daniel, is it more for confirmation or is there any way to having a top-down approach where you see
I
which
would
sectors are strongest and then kind of
I personally prefer the more for confirmation. I just search the stock first, like, which has the cleanest setup, and then I look what the sector is doing to see, hey, is it trading with the sector or against it?
BAPA wants to take a look at PPC,
Yeah,
please.
right. Pilgrim's Pride Corporation in the food space. Chicken, I believe. Chicken and frozen stuff. What they do again? Let me quickly see. What are they doing? Something like that, huh? Yeah. Frozen chicken and pork. All right. All right. Yeah, I like it. I think we called it out as a trade of the day, as a zone break retrace. We went a bit lower down. Now we're back near our all-time highs. I think it's a nice bullish setup. Yeah, still looks good. If you can clear this resistance level completely, I think that's going to be another leg further up. Like it. Maybe 2 or 3 more stocks. So I do have to drop off in a couple of minutes because we have another event later on.
Do we have a Monday boot camp?
We have it for the Acorn. So
This is for Acorn.
for the
Okay.
Acorn add-on,
So
please send
Peter, if you
me.
could send us an email, then we could get
Yeah,
that information. It's for Acorn members. Yeah. Okay. Let's take a look at TPH, please.
3 Point Homes. Is that related to your homes? No. That's funny. Yeah. Okay. All right. What do we have here? Okay. So, bearish for 124 trading days. Yeah, I can see it here, the bearish flag. It's kind of a stock which is not easy to read. I personally would stay away from it. We are bearish, but if price comes further down, we are near this former resistance level, which was broken, now acting as support. It's a hard read, even though, long term, it seems bullish, almost bullish to me. This could be just a retracement of this bullish move. Let me just measure this out real quick. Since we have a second here, let me just see what the FIB levels say. FIB retracement. How big was this retracement? That's what I want to know. So from here to here, we went right to the 61.8. Yeah, that looked to me like a classic FIB retracement. This support level here, you can see the support zone coincides with the 61.8 retracement level. And if you take that stance, say, hey, we saw this correction of that bullish move is completed now with the 61.8 retracement, then you could argue, okay, we ignore this bear flag here. We're still bullish. And we
Sorry,
can then,
Daniel, are you on the right chart?
I think so, TPH.
Uh, Lenny says you thought you were analyzing. Okay, so are you? Yeah, okay, no, that's fine. I'll clarify with him. He's
Yeah.
saying it's the wrong chart.
But my point was, okay, if you take that stance that this is just the correction of that after that bullish up move here, and we're gonna see another leg further up, then this could be now an interesting long opportunity. I totally yeah, I like it. I like it for long now. If you believe that my FIB analysis is correct, of course, there's no guarantee, but if it does, maybe this could be now a nice long, anticipating we're gonna see another leg up above the all-time highs.
Bap is saying, yeah, PPC, when you were looking at PPC, so one before you were actually on the XLF chart by accident. So maybe just
Oh,
take
was
a look
I?
at PPC. Yeah, sorry about that, guys. Yeah.
See, I don't even look at the symbol.
No,
I just
yeah, there you go.
got it happens. Okay, got it. Yeah. So the idea, okay, I mean, I still kind of like it as a bounce trade, but I want to see this bounce happening soon. We're still at this key support level, long-term uptrend. couple of gaps to fill here. Yeah, I mean, personally, I still like it, but it smells a bit more bearish here, especially with that big candle here that we saw on the 10th on Wednesday. We recovered from it. So maybe this was the low point, but yeah, but this level better hold. Otherwise, may see another leg down towards this level here, potentially at 34.
Maybe just one or two more, and I know we have another webinar coming up. So
Yeah.
Larry Ellison.
Oh, the art guy. Yeah, that's the name I wanted. He was the richest man in the world for a couple of hours.
And
Yes.
while Daniel looks that up, as
No,
for the session
uh,
at
there's nothing to be looked up. That's just the name of the CEO of Oracle,
sorry, I
which I
we're
Homer has a
having
fever. It's okay.
maybe
That's all
you
right.
should be looking at the questions, Daniel.
I
Let's look up let's see. ASTS.
ASTS. All right. ASTS technology. Okay, bullish for 323 trading days at resistance right now and a level for a pullback. Let's
And
check it out.
while you look that one up, sorry, just as a quick note, the next webinar is something with the Traders Corner, and it is an introductory webinar. So if you're already attending our power scanning sessions, I'd probably say that you don't need to attend that one, right, Daniel? Some people are asking
Oh,
about it.
can always attend. But yeah, the
You'll make
registration was,
Daniel happy if you attend, but it's
yeah,
pretty much an introductory
put
webinar.
the link. It's going on right now, actually. It's a multi-speaker webinar, so it's not just me. The other speakers do going on, taking place right now. Maybe Homer, you can just place the link
Yeah, sure. I'll put the link for you
into the
guys in
chat
the chat.
to check it out. Yeah, my part will start in about an hour. That's why I need to drop off at some point to prepare for it. But yeah, it looks like a zone break retrace. Went a bit further down here. We're bullish for 323 trading days. Yeah, I still like it for long after this pullback here to this initial resistance level. Went a bit further down, went to the second and resistance level just below, now acting as support. Yeah, and this could be the launch pad for another leg further up. I like it. Mhm. All right. Perfect. I'm gonna quickly look at the questions myself. The bounce trade often looks frightening bearish. I don't often see what Daniel sees. Yeah, I mean, but I see a long-term uptrending stock. But yeah, you're right, Lanny. It looks a bit scary, but in a stock where we've been trading we've been in an uptrend for a long, long time. Even if this level doesn't hold, I typically stick with it. Good example now, my arch nemesis, Sprouts Farmers Markets. So I sold puts here. I got assigned. Now I'm owning shares of Sprouts. We caught out, yeah, we broke this level. This was not something I wanted to see. We broke the support level here, went below. Now we're trading down here. This position is currently in the negative. This bear flag here, yeah, turned out to be a true bear flag. We went further down and yeah, but now I do believe this level here will be the bottom at 130. We're gonna come up again. I still like it for its long-term uptrend. Just this correction is deeper than expected. I'm gonna hold on to this stock. Actually sold some calls at I think above my strike price at maybe 165. Just collect a bit of a premium there uh, for these calls and doing a bit of the wheel strategy, something that you may know. I've heard about. Maybe we're gonna do a topic on this a special topic on this strategy. It's an option strategy in our next Lunch and Learn session. We'll see. So yeah, I'm holding on to this one, even though right now it's in the negative. But that's why I like to trade these long-term uptrending stocks because I'm still pretty convinced we're gonna recover. It's just a deeper correction than expected. Alrighty. Do Trend IQ and Trend Radar work on intraday futures? Oh yeah, Senna. That's what we do you mean Liquidity IQ, I believe? Yes, that's what we trade all the time. Senna, go to our YouTube page, tradingindicators.com/YouTube. Check out the latest live trading workshop there, where we actually use those for day trading. Alrighty. Perfect, Holmes. I think that's pretty much it. Yeah, so join us at the Traders Corner. Let's see how this one goes. I think, yeah, this is going to be a multi-speaker event. Probably some interesting speakers there. It's going to be our first time participating in the Traders Corner. The link is in the chat. Starting in about 1 hour, but spoiler alert, it's going to be on the topic of our dashboard. So some of the setups I will be covering there, you have already seen right now in this session. All right, guys, with this, I wish you all a great afternoon. Yeah, take some rest, and then I see you all next week with our newsletter, our Lunch and Learn session. We have MetaStock next week. Lots of things are happening, and of course, our scanning session next Saturday. Thanks, Homer, for being there as well, despite you not feeling well today. And yeah, that's it. Have a great weekend. Talk to you soon. Bye, guys. Thanks, Homer.